Welcome back to the Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast. Ian Dancer in the chair for Big Al, and Phil Brown, who's been with me all morning. Danny Kelly and Mickey Quinn coming up at 10 o'clock, of course. There was that report that came out today, Phil, saying that there's less and less participation in sport, that everyone's looking for the Olympic legacy and looking to make sure that people are taking part in sport and it's not too elitist. But the numbers aren't great. I think it's only boxing where we've seen an increase in numbers of people taking up the sport.
I couldn't believe that statistic where football was concerned.
Yeah, 250,000 less, although they did say that the weather, particularly how bad it was in March, was quite a mitigating circumstance and whatnot in terms of people not playing as much as they normally might have done.
So we have to go to warm countries to kick a ball about, do we?
Something like that, it would appear so. But I mean, I want to get a view on another sport that's sometimes seen as elitist, and whether people actually can take it up with any great ease. Polo, of course, and the Australian polo captain Glen Gilmore joins us on the line now. Good morning to you, Glenn.
How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. Now, you've got the Cartier Queen's Cup going on. Is it about to start? Is it taking place already? What's this tournament? Is it like the World Championships or something?
Depending on the handicap of the tournament that you play, which we'll go through in a bit, it started on the Wednesday the 22nd. We've got the finals coming up on Sunday. So we had the semis yesterday, and the two teams that won played very, very well, and should be a cracking game on Sunday out at Smith's Lawn at Windsor Great Park.
So why should people come and watch polo? What's the attraction?
Mate, there's very few sports like it anywhere in the world. You've got the mixture of horses and humans together. There's 4 players on a team. It's very, very fast. You know, it's about an hour and a half, so it's not too long, but it's long enough to actually get into it. It's very fast-paced, and there's a lot going on.
Although it is thought to be elitist as a sport, Glenn, how easy is it for someone to actually take up the sport?
Yeah, well, listening to what you guys are saying, that there's, there's been a decline of people getting into sports. Polo's one that's actually getting a huge following around the world, especially as the economies are starting to pick up. There's more and more people getting into the sport around the world. We've noticed a huge increase in Australia, and also here in England, there's a lot of people getting into it, a few new clubs coming up. And the good thing about polo, is that it allows you can come in and play and be good off your handicap. So opposite to golf, where the lower you are, the better you are. With polo, the higher you are, the better you are. You start at -2, and then you go to 10. So there's a 12-goal spread where you can rate everybody within the sport. Beginners would be -2, and there's about 8 10s in the world, predominantly Argentine.
And you're 7.
I'm a 7. Yeah, I was on 8 for a couple of years, 7 now. And to get to that 10, you need to have been playing from a very young age, and the Argentines are very, very good at it, and everyone within their community, especially the kids that go through and live with their fathers that are 10 goals, they just really rapidly rise in the sport, and by the time they're 18, 19, they're already, among the best in the world.
I believe some of our royals were quite high ranking.
Yeah, Prince Charles was a 4-goaler, and he, considering how little he got to play, he was a very good horseman, struck the ball really well, but just never got a chance to play enough. And the boys are both playing when they can, when they're not flat out, and they go very well as well.
My big question to you, Glenn,
okay,
would be, there's been a real, in the 4 hours that I've been here, there's been a real strong Australian theme. The rugby, the cricket, now it's polo.
I wondered when this would happen.
Where in Australian ranking, in terms of sport, does the world of polo fit? You've got rugby rules, cricket, football.
So polo within Australia?
Yeah.
No, not very high. There's not that many people that play it. There's more and more coming into it, and we've done a few polo in the city series around Australia in all of the capital cities, same as they're doing here in London and around the world. We're just trying to get people to understand they can go and watch the sport. It's something different. And you can get close, and you can actually go and have a lesson reasonably cheaply. But like anything, if you want to get to a high level, it does, it costs quite a bit to get to the high level. So,
of course.
Yeah.
I mean, is there a website people can go to? Is there anything that you can direct people towards if they want to get involved?
Yeah. Look, there's plenty of places. Our the national body here in England is the Hurling and Polo Association, the HPA. And depending on your area, you'll be able to find a club close to you where you can get lessons. Down where we are at Guards Polo Club, there's lessons there. There's Ascot Park. There's here in London in Richmond Park, Ham Polo Club. There's plenty of places around the world where you can go and learn, have a lesson, and just feel how cool it is. There's a lot of people that have corporate days. They come to the polo with me or whoever is teaching, and there's some people who've never even touched a horse, and by the end of it, they've got on, hit a ball around, played against their mates, and had a chucker. So it's good.
I've had a couple of racehorses, Glenn. Do they, you know, when you retire a racehorse, have they got the temperament to actually go into polo, or is it a different animal?
Well, you know, within your racing, you've got your sprinters and your stayers.
Yeah.
So the sprinters tend to be sort of, you know, quite tall and fire-breathing, ready to go and jump out and do the 1,000 metres, whereas your stayers, like our Melbourne Cup, over 2 miles, we like the stayers because within a chukker is a time frame within our sport. We play 6 chukkers in the Cartier Queen's Cup final on Sunday. The 2 teams will play 6 chukkers, right? Yeah. So that's a 7-minute period of 6, and so 6 of those. So a Melbourne Cup takes about 3 minutes 20 seconds. So you can see they're doing 2 Melbourne Cups within 1 chukker, and so the horses that we want have to have stamina. They have to be the thing that we like the most about them is their temperament. So if they're got a really good temperament, they'll pretty much be able to go through and do anything. So the horses, as far as being retired from racing, a lot of there's a new thing coming out called retrained racehorses. So horses that don't tend to make it in the racing come through into the polo or other equine disciplines, and there's a lot of that going on as well, which is really good.
Glenn, before we let you go, we've got to ask you about the Ashes and the Lions as an Australian. Come on, I mean, look, come on, we've sorted you out in one aspect of it. I mean, the Lions Test is coming up soon, but what about the Ashes?
Well, the Ashes, I mean, according to our press, we've got no chance. And obviously, Davey Warner the other day, not an ideal thing for us as one of our best batsmen. But look, I don't know. It's one of those things you don't ever want to take on an Aussie when he's down, so look out. So look out. And a week till the first Lions Test. I don't know. I just reading today. There's been a few injuries for you guys. How are you feeling about it?
Well, we've got a few walking wounded, but at least we're playing some competitive games. The Aussies are only training together. They don't actually play a competitive game until the first Test. And personally, I like the sound of that.
Yeah, I bet you do.
I bet there's no drinking culture in polo, by the way, is there?
Oh, none at all. No, definitely not.
Amongst the horses.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a sugar cube overload. Listen, Glenn, where can people watch this final on Sunday? Where can they go?
Yeah, it's out at Smith's Lawn in Windsor Great Park, so out near Ascot, Windsor area. Go online to theguardspoloclub.com. The Cartier Queen's Cup, it'll be a cracking day. And there's polo on. I think they're actually starting to run out of tickets. So, yeah, get online and get some tickets, come out and have some fun. I'd love to meet you.
Good luck, Glenn. Really appreciate you coming in. So very much appreciated. Glen Gilmore, the Australian polo captain. You can go and check out the action in the Cartier Queen's Cup on Sunday. This is TalkSport.